Hello everyone, my name is Jillian Bartlett and I'm back to speak with regards to our country. I'm here basically resounding the alarm against corruption in politics and career politicians who think our world surrounds them. When we are the majority of people, we're the ones who voted them in. Let me correct that. Bahamians have voted them in. I'm not part of that. I didn't correct it. I didn't elect any of them in. As a matter of fact, for the last 15 years, I decided not to vote on any of the political parties that are in power right now. I took the stand as I voted for another political party called the DNA. So you see, I'm not here playing. I'm not a switcheroo. Once I make up my mind, I stick with the party of choice, which was the DNA, who tried in 3 5-year terms, and they could not get in. And I went down with the DNA. I stuck to the DNA. Then I decided that I was going to support the COI under the leadership of Mr. Lincoln Michael Bain, who is a Bahamian, who cares for our country. He cares deeply about the country's direction. But he's not the only one. But he is the leader of the Coalition of Independence, short for COI. Now, perhaps the 66,000 who voted for the last party are happy with the condition of his country. And I think it was probably less than 40,000 for the other political party who feel we should just keep the status quo. I'm trying to get my light on, but that's not working. But then there is the, how much? I think it was, oh my goodness, I can't remember the number. I should remember these numbers top of my head. The difference of the other parties and other voters who wanted to vote it for something different. Now, let's think about it. That's 15 years since the DNA. Give or take, it's 20 years now, okay? Let's say that's 20 years later under the same political party, FNM and PLP. And if you look at the standard, that's what I want to put, the standard here, and the integrity of how the experienced politicians and their political party is running our country. How can I put this politely? I think they run it like a tuck shop. No. Tuck shop have nice sweet candies in it. I think they run it like a low standard. Yeah, low standard. As if they're working for themselves. I think that's how they run it, like a tuck shop. Y'all agree? Tuck shop or low standard politics. Like they run out of steam. And nothing is urgent for them. Because you know why? They hold some political power that y'all give to him. I wanted to put it out there because I want y'all to know. Don't complain about what you got now. Because you decided to vote them in the last election. So now we have a change of heart. Maybe some of you. Maybe not. I don't know. But time will tell, right? If you feel you were represented to the fullest, if you were represented as Bahamians to the fullest of the laws of the Bahamas, forget your political party. That we don't have a problem with crime and illegal migration and political corruption and crime again. I'm going to emphasize on crime. If you don't have a problem with it and you think you could walk freely in the Bahamas like how we could have walked around freely, and I believe we could have because I lived in that era, where we walk, we can stay as late as we want, Anybody can remember when we could leave our doors open? Didn't have to worry about nobody coming in, no machete, machine gun, cutlass. We didn't have to worry about you getting your body burned up, getting raped. You know, anybody can remember those times? The crime was like, no more down on this now. I ain't giving no percentage. Did anybody can remember those times? So, why is it that we've only had 2 political parties? I'm trying to keep my calm. Let me breathe, drink some water. We've only had 2 political parties, right? And the crime and the migrants coming to our country has gone to another level, like steroid level. That's what I'm trying to figure, like, 20 years ago, we really wasn't this bad. And politics was politics, right? But we had some integrity. We had some standard. We didn't have to worry about closing our doors and our children going next door, or our children walking from school and then big school fights in the road. We had where people actually look up for each other and look out for each other's children and protect them. But we can't trust that now, because in the Bahamas we still have bus shootings. I think I saw one the other day. Shootings on the weekend. The police was reporting somewhere in our news, and I'm looking at the reporter, right? And I'm looking in the background, and I literally like, I went into paralysis. Like, when I see things like that, people actually live in communities like that. No wonder they're killing each other. No wonder. And you should have seen this community. I think it was somewhere like in Montgomery, in Nassau. I said, Jesus, to the politicians who govern our country, Montgomery, candidate under the FNM and PLP, you're trying to say, like, y'all don't see the indecency in the community in which you get your vote from? Y'all don't see them people need help? Y'all can't see how bad the community. And that's why I was talking about standards. Politicians are low standard people, because I can't see y'all seeing that in Montgomery. And didn't feel something somewhere in your heart to say, oh my God, that's my constituency under the FNM, that's my constituency under the PLP, and you know, we've been asking these people to vote for us from Methuselah time. Y'all didn't see the way the communities have declined. Now, I'm talking to the FNM and PLP because they were the only ones who governed the Bahamas. Y'all can't see that? Y'all could walk around. Listen here, this is my only suit, okay? I don't even have suits no more. I just bought this suit so I could do the live feed. I don't have suits. But the politicians are sitting up, passing biometric bills, talking about, I don't even know what they're talking about, because I try to listen and go like, what are y'all not getting in that House of Assembly? Do you think politics is normal? I'm so stuck on that because that's in my brains, like embedded in my brains. To see the community and they're talking about the crime wave. Then they come on in one breath talking about the crime wave, right? You can always tell when they're acting. I can't stand it. They're talking about the CARICOM came together to get all the guns and they're burning them. What the hell are them guns doing in our country? Every time we see a press release by the police, all these guns, money, bullets. Wayne Monroe, supposed to be our security minister. These are leaders now, so they call themselves leaders. I don't call them leaders. He's sitting there with a small goo 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 goo. And you should see the guns that they're putting in this bin to burn. We're like, I mean, I don't know, I must be living in heaven somewhere, because to live in a community and you're confiscating those guns only in Nassau. And this the plan you all come up with? Showing a public statement that we're going to get all the guns together and we're going to burn the guns. So, okay, so we don't have a security problem. Scratch that. We don't have a security problem. We don't have a crime problem. We don't have a immigration crisis. No. Haiti don't even have an immigration crisis. No. The United States didn't put a bounty on the gangster head for $5 million. No. We ain't hearing that. We fine in the Bahamas. Oh no, we've never been affected by the influx of Haitians coming to our country. They are overwhelmingly breaking our border law. Ain't talking about nobody else. No, I'm not talking about nobody else, because you know why? When they come in, they're the one who gets caught. Records show, statistically, they are the larger amount. But no, our ministers sit back in their suits, sitting nice and tall and talking on TV, which I think they need to ban, because they talking a bunch of crap. But they can show the guns. The CARICOM came together and we're going to put all these guns and burn them. Y'all remember a couple of years ago, Carlos Reed talking about pay the freaking gangs money to get the guns. Also, so the police don't know where they're living in our society. Oh, so this is how we do it with gangs now. We pay them for their gun. They can bring their gun. And this several years ago now. And we can pay them money. Where the hell that money coming from? We want to know. Because y'all talking a bunch of crap. And these are the leaders, either under FNM or PLT, that we have, who continue to play basketball with former gangs who took over to take care of the gangs. Just ain't making no sense. It ain't making no sense no more. And our young people can deal with this for the fact that over 20 years ago, no, I did not vote for the FNM nor the PLP. And yes, in the last election, I refused to vote. No, let me be honest. I couldn't vote because I wasn't home. But I campaigned hard. And the leaders keep coming. Centuries now. No, and they're still in 60 years. We ain't that old yet. Decade after decade, the leaders keep coming to you in press conferences like it's a show. And there's no urgency in our community. When we have communities where people feel so violated. Yeah, that's the word. Violated. Can't go out in public. Can't go to the ATM machine. Live shootouts in the middle of the day between the bus drivers and the Fox Hill people and you name it. Every time you turn on ZNS or our news or beyond the headline, a mother out there crying, carrying on, that she didn't know her son was always a problem. But that's not the point. The point is innocent people get caught in these gangs in the Bahamas, in bullets, and you saw the guns. It's on, I think it's our news, where they say they put them in the bin and burn, and they're like, really now? So where are the people? Who did you confiscate those guns from? So you don't think the people who living in the Bahamas are not terrified now? Just 20 years later, I talk about, I'm using a time frame here. Because it's only been the PLP and FNM who govern. So where and who put the fear in the friggin' gangs, criminals, whether, I don't care what nationality it is now. I don't care that. I don't play that. Where the fear, the government putting them. Where the fear, the police putting them. Where's the results? Where's the leadership with the crime? No. Fernanda just resigned. Okay, you resign. They put a woman in charge. She just reached. And guess what? It ain't changing nothing. It ain't changing a thing, because it really falls on the heads of the leaders of the country of the Bahamas. And who are those heads? Well, let's count them, because we can count them on 5 fingers. Count them. Sir Lyndon Pillin, Hubert Ingram, Perry Christie, Hubert Minnis, Brave Davis, all experienced, and I can say it slowly, experienced political leaders. That's it. I didn't say they were leaders in security, leaders in natural resources, leaders in protecting its people. I didn't say leaders in growing the economy. She's a leader. They are ultimately responsible. And then we crack it down a little further. There's only been 2 political parties governing the Bahamas, right? So, ultimately, it falls on the FNM and PLB too. But no, everybody like to get up in the news, make statement, look good, make it sound like they're saying something, they ain't saying nothing. I listen, but I don't hear anything at all. I don't hear nothing. You don't hear nothing. You can see your communities are diminishing. You can feel it. You can see the integrity that you all put in the politicians, so I ain't vote for none. So I don't see them as having integrity at all. So that's how I put my pencil in that. But you don't see them protecting you globally. Do you see that? Let's just draw one incident. Thank God we ain't had no hurricane, right? Thank God, right? Thank God. Thank God for that. But an incident happened sometime last week where the Prime Minister of the Bahamas took 2 bloody weeks to speak to the issue. Now, someone's supposed to look up the fact that the shooting of Bahamians, they were killed in Haiti, in Haiti's waters, are the bodies, and have the bodies been returned to the Bahamas? They just put in the question up there to figure out if you love the people so much, love our country so much, you act with no urgency. And I have a problem with that. I have a problem with many things. That's just one. So, leadership. Today is August 15th, 2025. Let's talk about Mr. Lincoln Bain. Why shouldn't we talk about Mr. Lincoln Bain and his leadership under the COI? Why not? We know what we got. We know who we had, and we know what they did, and they were paid handsomely for it to govern the Bahamas. Maybe some of y'all got something from it, but we're talking about the whole global outlook. Not what you got from your political party. Not what you're waiting to get from your political party so you can complain about the ones who are now in power. Are you looking at the country from a global position and global growth, global strength, empowerment? Are you looking from all angles? Listen, yeah, I saw a community and I was like, I can't take it. No human being in the Bahamas should be living like that ever again. Ever again. Hold on a second. So, Mr. Lincoln Bain, the leader of the COI, the Coalition of Independence, his leadership brand must come to fruition because we urgently need help improving the leadership stigma in the country. Okay? Time for the old to move on the freaking side and time for the new to come in. But what does the leadership depends on? Let's just read it. It's very short, but it's very potent and it's very effective. The COI political leader, Mr. Lincoln Bain, is vision. He is a visionary, and I don't care what nobody say. And he will be the next leader of the Bahamas. Take it or leave it. He has passion. He has advocated for all Bahamians. Yeah, regardless. You see this flag in the back of me? That don't represent no red or them other people colors. Okay? He represents all Bahamians. And legal, because we can't deal with the criminal mindset. He represents them all. And his track record for fighting for justice is very real. And we've heard about it, and we will continue to hear about it. It comes natural for him to fight for disenfranchised Bahamians. All right? He's fighting for justice and transparency. Now, how much time we've been talking about transparency? Maybe the FNM and PLP never spoke about it. You know why? It hasn't happened under their reign, and you've seen it. All right? As you can see, the transparency, the government of the Bahamas have failed us on that one, so let's forget that, move on. He has led a very transparent campaign. Actually, very transparent over the FNM and PLP, as we can all see. All right? He led the way in putting everything out there via Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Them old gods just catching up like this year. And look how long they've been governing our country. But Mr. Lincoln Bain has led, and he has first been transparent in his campaigning ethics, transparently. Every week he has come religiously on. Every Tuesday. It was started every Tuesday. Remember, we did a vote on that on Facebook. Y'all remember that? And we say, yeah, come on Tuesdays and Sundays. And then he comes on throughout the week if there's some emergency. How many town meetings has he had? Transparently, openly. How many times he's traveled to Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthera, Exuma, Andres. I mean, he went to Grand Bahama so much, I tell him, okay, that's enough now. Let Iram Lewis take that over from here. But he has led the way of being transparent. And why is this? He's been educating the Bahamian people on some things in Grand Bahama we wasn't aware of at the Grand Bahama Port Authority. We didn't even know the Grand Bahama Port Authority was supposed to be responsible for certain things that Bahamians are supposed to have. Free port. That's all I can say on that one. I can move on. But Mr. Lincoln Bain has led it transparently. And let me just go and summarize some of the things he wants for the people of the Bahamas. First, he wants equitable distribution of the natural resources. Let's stick a pin right there. I got about 5 to read, and it's going to be quick and fast, and then I'm moving on. Do y'all recall last year, late last year, and this is how the PLP is doing it, they come late last year and make a really important announcement. Guess when they announce it? Like down between Thanksgiving and almost Christmas. You nobody listening to that? But I was. He said he will come to us in the new year of January 2025 to tell us then what he was going to do about our natural resources. Somebody read in the newspaper just the other day. He come in August 14. So wait now. It's not important enough. You have to wait whole 3, almost 4 years, right? Election's almost right around the corner. And now you can come and put in somebody's newspaper. That's how you're going to address us? About you got the sale for the natural resources. So this is how y'all deal with us. This is how y'all come to us. Lukewarm. And we're not supposed to say anything. But anyway, Mr. Bain was the one who would educate the general public. Like, okay, let's put it this way. Let me give everybody else credit. Let me give Wesley Campbell credit. He spoke about the natural resources. I personally had a meeting with him and others. He spoke to it and spoke about it. Then I think we have Mr. Mr. Prescott Smith. He spoke about it too. Am I missing anybody else? I don't want to miss nobody else, because you know how Bahamians need their credit. I really don't care about none of that. Then Mr. Lincoln then came. But I wonder why y'all think he had so much persons actually being informed by him. Maybe there was something deeper, and it's okay. He would like to see an equitable distribution of the natural resources. He have already made a recommendation. But you know, the Prime Minister won't dilly and dally around and pretend like he's dumb. And again, he could be dumb. Yeah, plain dumb. And dilly and dally around and don't want Bahamians to get $100,000. And you see the communities? You see in which they live, and anyway, stop on. Let me move on. Number 2, transparency. And he wants this because this called transparency means you need a Freedom of Information Act. We ain't no freaking children around here. Okay? If we can get information from AI, Google, something chat, whatever they call it, something chat. Our government trying to play dilly-dally with the people and just give us trickle about of information. There's nothing wrong with having transparency and accountability in government. You need it. Right now, the COI is the force on the outside, putting their foot up, the politicians, you know what, so they can do what they're supposed to do. All these things you see trickling down in the papers and the news is because of the COI. But we don't care about no credit, okay? Because we care more about what the people of the Bahamas will be getting because they have been disenfranchised too long. Under the leadership of Mr. Lincoln Bain, empowerment of Bahamians is very important. Now, you want go and follow leader, no, not freaking me, not my children, not their children. We more want to do what we got to do. He wants to empower Bahamians, and that's needed right now. Them set, who they're now, they're about 20 years too late, okay? He wanted to be addressing the immigration crisis. Now, let's stick a pin right there before I get to number 5, because number 5 is important. The leader of the COI, political party, who have one voice in the House of Assembly, and we ain't had no election yet, wants to be addressing the immigration crisis. Now, tell me, how come he call it a crisis? And the leader of the country, who governing the country, ain't call it a crisis. There's some real problems in our country. Anyway, the COI will be dealing with that effectively immediately when the time comes. Mr. Bain would like to introduce island states and city government. Okay? This is only the tip of the iceberg. Listen here, Bahamians. We never are different, right? We never are different, right? Because y'all voted, and I have to keep saying it, and I don't care who don't like it. Y'all voted for red and yellow. I voted for green. The go light. Not to stop and be caution and sit there and get trickle effects from the government. I voted for green. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's do it, let's do it. Y'all voted for them. So here we are. Mr. Bain is giving you a vision template, because right now we need visionary leaders. Okay? Yeah, but somebody will lead the way, because what we got in the Bahamas, that can't sustain growth, steady growth, that can't sustain for the future. It can't. We can't. Every time we turn on the TV, people are killing themselves. Gangs are shooting. The government is profiling, but they're destroying guns in a bin. That can't be the standard in which we have to continue. Serious. So anyway, See that man in the back there? He's called the President of the United States. Let me tell you what I like about it. What I like about Mr. Trump is he like trying to be like no regular politician. I love that. Because every time I hear anybody speak, and Americans, I'll give them the exception of the rule, okay? Because Americans are very good with speaking their mind. They fight for what they want. But when the people get tired, you know, the people switch up in you and they kick you to the curb. That man there, you can say whatever you want about him. That's a fighter. Just how I feel about him, that's how I feel about Mr. Lincoln Bain. Fighters. Men. Okay? They lead. They ain't got time for no talking and people suffering every friggin' where. They're taking care of their own people. And if you want to call us whatever in the Bahamas for that, we don't give a crap. Okay? I admire men who lead. And they prove their point. And they are looking out for their people. Now, remember last week I spoke to the ladies in Haiti, right? And I'm going at the Haiti leaders. 60 of y'all. Y'all ain't looking for your people. I don't care who come into your country and take your resources. Just like us in the Bahamas, we have natural resources and the government sit there like they fool. We ain't turning on into Haiti and we're telling the Haitians in the Bahamas, your standards too low. Your countrymen, standards too low. Because if 60 leaders in Haiti had actually do what they're supposed to do for their people, you think their condition would be this bad? You think the United States have to come in and deal with their gangs? Do you think? That's what I'm trying to figure. Do you think? Because Haiti leaders were corrupt and they allowed their people to suffer by their hands. We are not living in the friggin' 60s, nor the 70s, or the 80s. You trying to tell me all them Haitians who smart couldn't do right by their own flicking people, and their people didn't have to leave their country and such thing, and then they won't come and impose on us in the United States, and we're supposed to go, we can take care of y'all. When the buck can stop. But you see that man up there? He tell all of them leaders and everywhere in NATO, listen here, I get my money somehow back from y'all, and I want some of the interest, and I can charge you a little interest here. You don't like tariff? Okay. If you don't build in your factory in my freaking country and buying from America, well, we can put tax tariff on that, and it can cost more. That's what you do. I've seen where the farming in the United States were taken over by another country. And I'm like, well, why they keep sending it to the Chinese? And y'all eating garbage freaking food. Y'all supposed to be able to grow everywhere in the United States. The same thing for us, you know. And y'all let the Chinese come in there, take your freaking land, and sell your SHIT. And you wonder why y'all people are kind of weird in your country? Because they're unhealthy? Okay, now you know. But that man there, called Trump, he looking out for his people. And if you don't like it, tough for you. Mr. Lincoln Bain, he looking out for his people. And it's fine. Okay? And that's the type of men we need leading our countries. And anybody else who trying to lead the country or do stuff with integrity and show better example and have some friggin' standards in your life. Because this shit ain't gonna work no more. Them low standard people, they got to go. So I just want you to listen to one quick thing that Mr. Trump is saying that I need to get back to last week on the Haitian matter. And I get back and tell y'all how our leaders is be profiling in the news and writing articles. And then 20 years later, 30 years later, 40 years later, the same freaking problem that they was dealing with, say for us, in our country, come back to bite us in the ass. Yeah, it is what it is. So they've not been effective leaders. And thank God we only had 5. We ain't had 60 like 80. Thank you, Jesus. All right, let's turn this up. Yes.
Thank you very much for being with us. It's good time for this country. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I think you're hearing it from a lot of people, not just from me. We're doing very well in so many ways. And the gentleman on my right, we recruited him. We tried to get the best person. We got a man that you'll hear in a second has done an amazing job with respect to Social Security. He's running it, and he's running it like nobody ever even dreamt possible. And it's the 90th anniversary right now of Social Security. So today we celebrate that 90th anniversary of one of the most significant pieces of legislation ever signed into law, the Social Security Act of 1935, and we're going to make it stronger, bigger, and better. We're doing a job. In the campaign, I made a sacred pledge to our seniors that I would always protect Social Security, and under this administration, we're keeping that promise and strengthening Social Security for generations to come. You keep hearing stories that in 6 years, 7 years, Social Security will be gone, and it will be if the Democrats ever get involved, because they don't know what they're doing. But it's going to be around a long time with us. Very much, you'll be surprised to hear some of the numbers. I'm delighted to be joined by the Commissioner of the Social Security Administration, Frank Bisignano, who in the world of business, in fact, I wrote some of the little things down, that he's had an amazing, he's Chief Operating Officer of J.P. Morgan Chase. He worked for Jamie Dimon, and Jamie Dimon said that he was amazing. So think of that, Chief Operating Officer, J.P. Morgan Chase, had a storied career. Then he went to First Data. For those in the business, you know it's the largest payment company anywhere in the world. And worked for Henry Kravis, and it was in big trouble. He took it over as CEO. He made it incredible. They merged with Fiserv, and he became CEO of that, and that became extremely successful. I was in Milwaukee. I guess they have the Milwaukee Arena, and where we had some great success, and some good speeches. But he's a really legendary guy, and he wanted to do this. I mean, he just wanted to straighten out Social Security because he loves our country. And what he's done in a few months is amazing. Almost 60 million American seniors rely on Social Security for peace of mind and a life of dignity and retirement. These Americans paid it.
Okay, so let me just end that there. See what leaders do? They take care of the disenfranchised in their country. He said 60 million. Well, Davis only had 66,000 people voted for him. Trump dealing with 60 million in Social Security. Their Social Security is the same as our social service, and I'm not even going there because it's horrific. A very small country called the Bahamas, our social service is the name of the Social Security. It's all the same. Taking care of the older people and disenfranchised people that have contributed to their country. Well, you gotta get real. I have a cousin, she works in social service, and you gotta get real. It ain't happened. But I'm just saying the type of leadership Mr. Trump is. He's not your normal politician, because you remember now, he was a real estate agent, mogul, high-rise hotelier / real estate / having fun, marrying beautiful women, having beautiful kids, and living a life. He worked. He wasn't a regular politician. In the Bahamas, we have regular career politicians who nothing they've done was what they did and aspire to just be the top politician. Mr. Trump ain't like that. He's taking care of his flicking people. Tell Haiti to do the same goddamn thing. Take care of their social issues, because they taking care of their own. And they can't keep sending friggin' food for Haiti when they got all that land, and they can friggin' do their own food, grow their own food. Because their leaders are derelict. Their 60 leaders are dumb, corrupt, and they caused their country to plummet into a shithole, pretty much. And coming over to our country trying the same thing. He take care of his people. So y'all can say whatever y'all want but Trump. Don't say it to me, because I can defend him. Okay? I can defend him, and who don't freaking like it, too bad. All right, so let's talk about leadership in our country with regards to the immigration issue. As you can see, I bring all my old notes, from, 2020. Okay, I don't even know when I wrote it. I don't have a date on it. So, but I have some, there are articles, June 19, 1980, by Mr. Lyndon Pinland. That's our first Prime Minister of the Bahamas. He spoke about the immigration issue. You gotta listen to this. See, I'm glad I saved my information. I got information of all the letters and stuff and things we wrote to them. Misers called leaders of the Bahamas because they think they're God-given gift to the Bahamian people like we can't friggin' think. Yeah, I got a lot to say today. So, let's start. I'm going to put on my little pink glasses. It's today's Friday. Okay? I got my glasses. So, let's talk about our former prime ministers of the Bahamas and their remark with regards to the migration issue. June 5th, 1980, Lyndon Pinland. Article written in Steve Webber, a Christian Science Monitor article. We will be faced with problems depriving our nationals. Okay, this is his words. The influx is an obstacle in the path of our economic development based on the health, education, the social service. Oh my gosh, and I see, and it just so happened, I was listening to Mr. Trump talking about social security issues and whatever. In order to accommodate these illegals. So he's saying the first Prime Minister of the Bahamas, he's dead now. This was a problem. Oh no, see. The article was written in the 80s. Please do the math, somebody, because according to the present Prime Minister, I'm trying to be kind, the present Prime Minister of the Bahamas, we don't have a crisis. According to incoming leader, Mr. Lincoln Bain of the Coalition of Independence, and will be the leader of the Bahamas very soon, said in his mandate, we do have a crisis. Lyndon Pinland has gone, dead and gone. He wrote this. Mr. Hubert Ingram, an article. Let's keep rolling. An article sometime February 14, 2012 in the Nassau Guardian. What does Mr. Ingram said? A former prime minister. He made a comment in regards to the former Haiti, Mr. Martelly, who was visiting Nassau. Keep reading, Joe. Mr. Ingram took issue with the statement, children of Haitian descent born in the Bahamas are entitled to citizenship and their statelessness because they cannot apply for citizenship until the age of 18. Now, I think we've heard Mr. Sean Gardner, alias Mr. Blackmail, spoke to some comments, but Mr. Martelly, now, remember the time this was written, 2012, we ain't got no issue. And the Prime Minister of the Bahamas are all speaking now, okay? Let me just read that again. Let me just make sure I understand this in my head. Okay. Hubert Ingram made a comment in regards to former Prime Minister of Haiti, Mr. Martelly. I think he's no longer the Prime Minister of Haiti anymore, okay? Who was visiting Nassau. That same visit that nobody knew he was coming, and then he came so he could talk to his Haitian people in our freaking country at our sports arena. Problem. Mr. Ingram took issue with the statement, children of Haitian descent born in the Bahamas are entitled to citizenship. He don't read our freaking laws called the Bahamas Constitution. He's just saying they stateless because they cannot apply for citizenship until they're 18. Well, that's a lie at the bottom of the pit of hell of the voodoo. Martelly words. He's no longer a Haitian president. But guess what? You could be born anywhere, right? That doesn't mean you get citizenship because you're born to Haitian parents in the Bahamas. You don't get nothing. You wait till you're 18. And then you could apply. And then if the prerequisite doesn't suit what our security ministers need, you don't get it. And you're not stateless. I spoke about the statelessness of where this came from. It came from the UN HR in the 1950s, where there was a World War II. Haiti, y'all have in World War II in 2012? That your people could just come and claim whatever they want because your former prime minister say, he mad. I come to talk to my people in the Bahamas, my Haitian people in the Bahamas at our sports arena, that y'all could get whatever y'all could get and bypass our constitution. Statelessness came from something the UN did, and it came upon at a time where there was World War II, where the European lost lives, state, house, family, dead. And America, the UN and America worked simultaneously for those persons who lost every freaking thing in a real war. Not a war that went on in Haiti, because they fighting themselves. And they can voluntarily go back to Europe. So Mattelli, he come here and cause problem, and these leaders did not stand up for us. We didn't know this. I was living in Nassau. I was wondering about all these people going to the airport one morning early, going to the gym to open up the gym, wondering what's happening. I had one of my clients was the top press reporter, and I asked her, she didn't even know. And then we come find out afterwards, they make a sitting president of Haiti come to the Bahamas, and nobody knew he came, and he made to see his people. Ingram is on his way out because Perry had won the election after that. So let's hear what Perry say now. Let me see if I can read this with a straight face. March 2014, that's a two year later, 2014.caracom.org. Mr. Christie, another former prime minister under the PLP, stated he took a strong stance. Why? Oh crap, I don't even know if I wrote that right. Said Nassau carry a heavy burden for the long term, the burden of the migrants. So wait now, this is 2014. Another prime minister wrote on it. Do a press conference on it. They probably wasn't on TV. They wrote it down somewhere in a newspaper article. And he just said that Nassau is carrying a heavy burden. So I wonder, Perry Christie is a PLP prime minister. Brave Davis, the sitting prime minister, was a deputy, always. So Brave must have didn't know what to say. So Brave didn't listen to, at the time, his leading prime minister, because he was the deputy. He didn't hear him say, Nassau carry a heavy burden a long time because of the illegal migration. So obviously, who Brave playing us? Brave playing us? Does it look like Brave playing us? I thought I'd just read that because that was this is why I'm talking about leadership so harshly. Because they knew. One prime minister knew in 2080. They knew. The other one knew, 1980. That's way back. The other one knew in 2012. And the other one knew in 2014. It was a heavy burden for Nassau. So what? They must have all just relocate and gone to Abaco and try to take over? From 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 25. That's 10 years later. So they just went to Nassau and decided, I'm just going to take off Haiti. And if y'all don't like it, Taurine could come, COVID could come. We can do whatever we want. We can take the supplies from the United States and we can build up our shack anywhere in the friggin' hell in Abaco 10 years later. And these prime ministers knew we had issues with that country called Haiti. And what boils me is this darn little black man who governed our country could sit there in a campaign message in 2021. He's one of them, there's one of him, and when he get in, he can take care of them. That's why I know do the boogaloo. And then you got them keep coming at us. You got the boycott woman. She in the friggin' United States. She have a press conference in the United States to tell them to boycott us. But they take care of her because they found that she was fraudulent. All her prerequisite information was not in place and she got stripped of her position. Google it. Then you have the other one coming, but he would be interested in politics in the Bahamas. You can't be a politician unless you are a citizen. You're freaking younger than me and you talking about you gonna be a politician in my country? Oh, and the other one says she come on boat and ain't nothing we could do about it. Oh, really? No, ain't nothing we could do about it. But our laws of the Bahamas, something we could do about it. We can't have former presidents of Haiti coming to dictate in our country while a sitting government under Ingram sat back and did shit about the problem. So all these people felt honored and privileged because Ingram again, 2010, okay, 2 years prior to this, Haiti had a tsunami or something, some natural disaster. Ingram never came to the Bahamian people and sanctioned an asylum because we never had one. But you know something? Let me tell you how these work. Ingram didn't take the permission, didn't do the prerequisite to come into the Bahamas to seek an asylum for. He just did it. In order to seek asylum or pass any bill, such as these things that I'm talking about right now, you have to bring a referendum to the Bahamian people. He did not. He was bigoted like that. And you all know that. And he just did it. So we got all these Haitians walking around in the Bahamas thinking these real Bahamians. Problem. We got all these Haitian in the Bahamas with our passport, and that's illegal. Whether they knew it or not, it's still friggin' illegal. They travel into the States. Claiming everything, I mean, getting all the benefits. Probably getting more benefits than me. Because I ain't getting none. They're getting benefits from another country that would not fix their freaking problem. Then the United States come back right again now, because y'all know Trump just went 6-7 months ago. Got to deal with their gangs. Because they can't govern themselves. Well, first they don't want to go deal with their problem. But they want to impose on us. And then they want to jeer at us. And then they want to kick us down and step over our Constitution. Forget us. They didn't break so many laws. And Mr. Gardner, blackmail out of hard copy, has already alluded to all of this. Not only that, we call ourselves the Patriots. And we call ourselves organic, because that's the truth. We've put a case against the government. So we ain't playing with them. We ain't playing with none of the former governments of the Bahamas either. Because they all knew we had a problem. But did they alleviate us with this problem? Oh, no, they did not, freaking not. And that's why I always wondered. I'm not an accountant. I always wondered about certain things about the Bahamas. And when I was doing these part programs a couple of years ago, with regards to our deficit, I asked all the accounting people I know, please come help me with this, please come and help me with this deficit problem. Because they're better at it than I am, all right? But I didn't get the help. So you know what I had to do? I had to go to Grok. Yes, Grok is a AI chat, which, what it does is it'll give you the information, but you gotta ask it right. But it also give you references. So if it's something about our deficit, it will cite a reference point, so you can see for yourself, and you could read it yourself. But it'll give you the general information so you can get an idea. Thank God somebody came up with Grok. Elon Musk. Thank you, Jesus. You come up with it, because couple of years ago when I was doing this, I know where I get this deficit from. Let's say 10 million, but these figures could be wrong, but I don't know. I'm going to say it anyway, and I'm going to, and if it's not right, blame Grok. Don't blame me. Blame Grok. I ain't taking no blame for that. Yeah, so I was talking about the deficit and how these other countries who come from other places are not taking care of their people in their country, and how they impose on our country and our system and cause us to weigh down and look derelict, and the crime rises, and the infrastructure for social service in the United States, in the Bahamas, is called social something. Anyway, you know what I mean, the social thing. How it weighs down on the society because we're busy taking care of another freaking country. The United States is stay taking care of the people country. So I did some research. I hate doing this part. But I'm going to read it anyway, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to blame Grok. So I was wondering about the deficits several years ago. This was part 9. I did a part series that led to the last election where Minutes had won, I believe. So y'all know this sometime back, right? I see here our deficit was 10 billion. I hope I wrote that right. And then I guess when Minutes came in, it was 13 billion. So it's like, oh my God, when is it going to stop? Can government have a vision to just lower the deficit? I'd be happy about that, but don't hold your breath. Our global status was junk bonds. You remember we always get sanctions and warnings, and because of the crime and the drugs and the problems with our society, we get sanctioned by other country. We get the United States saying, don't travel to the Bahamas because, you know, they got a lot of boom, bing, bing, bing going on. Then we had a tax drainage from all of the migrants that were here. And I've read that too, where the tax, it was draining our country, and it has been draining country, and it continues to drain our country. We had a high population of Haitian nationals who built unlawful shanty towns. This is all information, okay? It's just come and regurgitate, because when you don't have right leader to take care of the problem, we still have the problem. All the former MPs agrees, the prime ministers of the Bahamas agrees, like I read to you, that this migration was weighing us down. And again, I gave you dates, so you could say the dates now. So when you hear the now prime minister say we don't have a crisis, then you all know we're in trouble. Okay, I also asked the burden of society. Okay, oh, we forgot about this one. Wow, it's a good thing I'm reading this. Y'all remember the remittances cash leaving the Bahamas? It was leaving the Bahamas in the billions. Then again, our deficit was in the billions. Repatriation was a burden on our country. And the money come from the taxes of the people. Repatriation, I have a breakdown on that too, for repatriation courses and detention center, and all burdens one's country. That's the bottom line, okay? So that was another one. Detention center, another one. It's costing the Bahamians from every angle. But wait, the government decided, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, to put VAT in. Remember, they wanted to start at 21%, and we carry on so bad. They started at some other percent, and then Peter Turnquest and the FNM come and put it up 2%. And guess what? And y'all still paying for custom duty? How y'all managing that? No vision. No freaking vision in the country. That's the problem. Okay, yeah. Talk about, how Dorian and COVID probably inflated the country's position. Yeah, and that was under menace. Yep. So we know. Yeah. We know that was a problem, okay? We know it's a problem as opposed to inflating our deficit, because we are living in the hurricane ban, and COVID wasn't something no one was used to, but Cuban minister didn't have no vision. He keeps shutting everybody down. We wouldn't know he's coming left or right. Then he did one visa passport, COVID passport thing, and they said, why? And y'all still voted for that. But no, y'all, he had a snap election, and Bob was his uncle. Let's see, last week Haiti's president, this is all information, was assassinated. This is very sad, but Haiti is known for assassination since 1806, 1870. These are all the dates in assassination that happened, okay? 1912, 1950, and then at the time, 2021, 2022, I forgot. The attempted assassination on the new incoming president of Haiti. And this is in 2022. But Haiti ain't got no crisis according to our prime minister, and so we're not affected by Haiti. So he know what he's talking about. And y'all go keep following him right to the pits of hell, because he talking crack. So yeah, so let us talk about the deficit. Y'all can see I'm procrastinating when it comes to talking about figures, right? So anyway, the deficit. I did a live feed like I told you on this some time ago. And I asked Grok to give me like in a 15-year span with the deficit between the three leaders, what was it like? And the three leaders were Hubert Ingram. He was the Prime Minister of the Bahamas in 2007 to 2012. Then again at 2007 to 2008. And the deficit at the time, now y'all do the calculation, yeah, but I wasn't adding up all these things. Okay, the deficit between 2007 2000, yeah, this is yearly. Our term lasts 5 years, so y'all do the calculation. I'm giving y'all some work. I ain't doing it. For that year, it ranged from 150 to 200 million. Just do that by 5 years and see what you get. And the GDP was 34 to 40%. This was under Hubert Ingram. Mr. Perry Christie, where you is? Where you is? Okay, wait. Before I get on to Perry Christie, sorry. Let me correct myself. Hubert Ingram, it said here it went from 2008, right, to 2012. That's a whole 2 years. So I don't know why they put the whole 2 years in there. He said the deficit under his leadership was 300 to 400 million a year. Calculate that by 5 years. And y'all tell me what y'all get. Okay? And see if our country is in good standing. I'm not doing these breakdowns. I want an accountant to come and do the breakdown and let them talk about this. The next leader of the Bahamas, Mr. Perry Christie, who was the leader between 2012 to 2017. The deficit was between 300 to 500 million a year. It'd be the same knockoff from Ingram. Let me see if there's any difference. Okay, so there is a difference. That means it went up. In Ingram time, it was 250 to 300. Yeah, 350. In Perry time, it was 300 to 500 million. Y'all know why Perry only lasts 5 years? Remember we was having these 5 year interval? Ingram, 5 years. Perry, 5 years. And who came after Perry? Oh, Hubert Minutes, 4 years, sample election. Remember we used to run these 5 year terms. I mean, they wasn't lasting no more than 5 years. Oh, thank God, let it happen quick. Let it happen fast. So what we have next? Is this Philip Davis? Did I do Hubert Ingram? Hubert Minutes. I did Perry and I did Minutes. I see. All right, let's read the snap election. Former Prime Minister, Mr. Hubert Minutes. He was the Prime Minister of the Bahamas in 2017 to 2021. Okay, it reads, so this is Grok, okay? Grok say, what a bad year deficit. Was brutal. But guess what? Guess what the debt for the country was yearly? 400 to 600. Nah, I guess they was blaming Dorian. Yeah, everybody want to keep blaming Dorian. It's 6 friggin' years later and they still want to blame Dorian. But this was under minutes, okay? And the GP, there was no real plan. That's what Grok is saying. I'm quoting Grok. The debt to GDP spiked to over 80% by 2021. Now remember, snap election, you know who coming up. Yeah, the man in charge right now coming up. That one, yeah. Let me see, there was, I calling him these are my words I'm putting in now because you know me, I just got to put my own little spin on this. We call Mr. Hubert Minnis the unconstitutional decision maker for the Bahamas and its people. Remember he made that unconstitutional comment that he has to make unconstitutional decision for us. But listen here, we laugh him straight out, and he got kicked out 4 years later. Yeah, he had to call a snap election. But anyway, he still get kicked out, okay? That statement, we will not accept that statement, okay? Hubert Minnis, you will always be known. You can try to come back, but you come back independence, but you will always be known as the unconstitutional former Prime Minister of the Bahamas. We never want to see you again, okay? And you left the Bahamas and the Bahamian people with $750 million in debt. We ain't gonna friggin' forget that. And we don't want you back. So let's talk about Mr. Davis, my little favorite career politician, Prime Minister. So he said that the GDP growing to nearly 60% by 2017. Okay, let's say the Bahamas projected just. Okay, hold on a second. I want to make sure I'm reading. This is to do with Brave. I hope this thing got to do with Perry. But guess what? If I mix up Brave and Perry, right? Guess what? When Perry was the Prime Minister of the Bahamas in 2012 to 2017, guess who was the deputy? Davis, the Prime Minister now. So please, we're hearing it. Let me read that again. The GDP climbing to nearly 60% by 2017. The Bahamas projected, his projection, he projecting it now, this ain't for real. It was a gamble and it didn't pan out. Okay, this Perry. After Office of Corruption allegations tank his creed, but it was his deputy. He still had a deputy. Philip Davis was the deputy. Y'all hear what I'm saying now, right? Now the deputy is the Prime Minister. Wow, that's why when you don't got good leadership and taking care of your people, you inherit the mess. The PLP claimed that they grew the GDP by 4% from 2001 to 2 to 7. But 2012 to 2017 saw weak fiscal control. So Mao could say anything, but guess what? The proof is in the pudding. He ain't proved it yet. So anyway, they had a snap election with the former Hubert Ingram, 2017 to 2021. 2017 to 2021 was a bad year. I'm just reading this again, okay? He was brutal. His deficit or his debt to the country yearly was 400 to 600. Now, again, they blame it on Dorian. Just for reading, that was 6 years ago. COVID, Dorian, all sort of hit next to each other, blah, blah, blah. And the Mr. Constitutional man left us with a debt of $715 million. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Mr. Hubert Minnis. We don't want you back. We don't want you back. We could do bad all by ourselves without you and without Brave Davis. So, Davis administration in 2021 he was elected last 2021, he had pledged that by 2026, that's 3 years now going, almost here 4 years. What he claiming? I don't know what he claiming. This is what he's claiming, okay? So they are only claims that they will cut the deficit yearly, okay? Let's find out. Maybe somebody could figure out if Davis now has cut the deficit. There's some 4% surplus they were talking about. It said here, this is what Grok said, 23,000 jobs. And hit a tourist rebound. Yeah, I guess downtown Nassau, they put up a harbor and they try to blow up the taxi drivers and they try to give everybody a hard time, but it needed cleaning up. Okay, let's see. I see some calculations coming across. Y'all help me now, because this Grok, I asked Grok. So Grok help me, because I used to have the research this information all dark and the dark hillbilly of our archives in the Bahamas, which was hard to read all that crap. 1.2 billion deficit for 5 years. Wow. So let's see here. Thank you, Mr. Bain, Mr. D'Amico Bain, for that. So which prime minister was that with this 5-year deficit? Who was that? Because remember now, these are 3 leaders I'm dealing with here. Over 15-year span on the deficit. So did you add up, let me see, did you add up, whose is this? Perry Christie, no, snap election. It was a snap election, unconstitutional man. It said that the brutal deficit was between 400 to 600. So how much is that under Minnis for 4-year term? Because remember, he had snap election. And then they keep blaming it on Dorian. But you know they ain't had no plan for us, right? Because they know we are in a hurricane belt for the last, 6 decades. We've always been in a hurricane belt. So what's the problem? So why couldn't they, like, prepare themselves knowing that the Bahamas is always in a hurricane belt? Visionless leaders. But then again, it was the F&Ms who held the supplies for Dorian, because they must was trying to sell it. What are they trying to do with the supplies for Dorian? They was trying to hold it, keep it. I was in one of the warehouses when they brought stuff to Freeport. I was one of the volunteers. It was a lot of stuff. So what they was trying to do, they was trying to keep it, and then the PLP came to power. The PLP auctioned it, so the people still didn't get the hurricane supplies sent from the United States. Oh, Jesus, I need a break. Anyway, it is what it is. Okay, let's just see some comments here. That was Perry and Hubert. Okay, so why don't you add up for me. It stated here that the deficit under Hubert was between 400 million to 600 million. How much is that of a period of 4 years for him? Remember now, because he had a snap election. Anyway, add it up and put it up there. Let me know, please. I appreciate that. So, when you don't have good leadership, your country end up like Haiti. When you have weak leadership, your country end up like Biden. Look like he was having a stroke with his sunglasses on, trying to govern, and he's too damn old. And that's the problem. Okay? Now, what else I want to conclude with? All right, I don't want to regurgitate all these letters we sent to the government, because that's pointless. Everybody know I've been doing this for over 25 years, speaking out. And I want to thank all the persons who spoke out on immigration matters. I'm not the only person. I'm not claiming that. I'm just saying I stayed consistent speaking it out on it. And today, we still have the burden in our country with migrants and crime. And yes, they all coincide, because in my WhatsApp group, I do see the police stats. I see the gruesomeness of the murders that were happening in the Bahamas, and it was very inhumane for people to die the way they were dying. It was really sad. And we have a country where, like the Bahamas, for instance, we don't feel like we're being protected by our leaders. Rule number one. We don't feel like we're getting the urgent representation for all the communities throughout the Bahamas. Just look at the state of some of the communities. It's horrific. We don't feel secure. That's another problem we have in the Bahamas. We don't feel secure. The crime is too high. We don't believe that the men that are representing us in the present House of Assembly is doing a stellar job. No, we don't believe that. Not for one. We don't believe it. We've seen time after time where they make unconstitutional decisions for us. We're talking about menace. Where they pass nationality acts and policies that supersede the Constitution of the Bahamas, which is the supreme law of our country, which governs our country. It doesn't govern no other country but the Bahamas. We've seen over and over what the PLP has done. They have overstepped their authority according to the Constitution. And Mr. Sean Gardner always speak about this. We see them make up pushing people through a naturalization order. I can call it that because it's not a law. And making others who are not part of the Commonwealth or the British system, which we are part of, citizens. That's not just unconstitutional, that is corrupt. And this is the reason why many Bahamians, it's now organized by a very prominent Bahamian that has his own radio show called Hard Copy. Why? Last year, February, they filed a suit against the government of the Bahamas. This one, last year, February. Because they have blatantly broken our laws by using something called a naturalization for persons who do not qualify to actually be a citizen of the Bahamas because they're not part of our British colony makeup according to our Constitution. They know we've spoken to them about it, and they refuse to yield back and correct the situation. So we really don't care, because we in the Bahamas cannot fix Haiti's issue. I don't even think Mr. Trump should be bothered with Haiti's issue. But I'm glad he's doing it, because by him dealing with the gangs like he's dealing with the gangs in his country, the U.S., he's sending a strong message. He's sending it to gang leaders, which is some honorable amount of gang leaders in Haiti. I mean, if I tell you, will say you have to be lying. He's sending a message to the gang that a new sheriff is in town. Mr. Bain has put himself in a position to be the new sheriff in town for the Bahamas. And I endorse him 100%. Because we need somebody to look out for us, the Bahamians, to protect our sovereignty, to protect the people, and actually to bring the darn standards up, because the standards is too rough, low. And that's the problem we have in the Bahamas. We have career politicians who feel that they were God gift to the Bahamas, but they're not. They're not doing. They've actually failed on every front to protect us. And whatever they did, they get freaking paid for that. So we don't owe them nothing. We don't owe them no loyalty for the next generation going forward to govern in the Bahamas. So listen, please, I'm telling all Bahamians in the next election, if you don't do this time, you will lose your country's culture, serenity, and its security, because a few men in the House of Assembly feel they're doing the right thing according to the country. You can see what's happening in the Bahamas. You have eyes. You can hear. Use your vote wise this time. You ain't give me no other time after this. Protect your country. Vote in a new political party. And that's all I'm going to say. The COI. Change income and change is here.